Play a little music. We're gonna play a little music till 4:30. See what's happening. There's something. There's something. Gonna be just a little bit of music too, because it's almost that time. Little Coltrane. The microwave says that it's that time. Who's grooving with me? Yes, 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 yes. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CB. We are here for the 6th episode of the Wonder Years, little WETF spoiler review. I'm your boy CB, aka the Rude Educator. And if you've been riding with me through this Wonder Years series, we know that your boy Dean is he's 12 years old. It's 1968, and he's got a lot of ideas that and let me not having bright ideas at a young age, because to be perfectly honest, that's where all the good things come from, and we do not want to hinder the ideas of the youth, because that's a good thing. But what Dean wants this week is he wants that true all American experience. He watches a lot of TV, and he sees families that are doing things like going to the beach, or they going out camping and stuff like that. And Dean just wants a part of that kind of life. And they show, whenever he asks his dad about doing certain things, then his dad's got an excuse, like he wants to go to the beach. His dad says it's sharks. He wants to go hiking in the woods. His dad says that they're bears. He even told him he couldn't get a dog because of the fleas. So Dean's finding it hard to get that experience that he's longing for. And the other thing is, Dean goes to school, of course, and talks to his friends. And his friend Brad is talking about how he went camping with his Boy Scout troop, and how it was all good, how they got to do all these wonderful things. So now Dean's interested in that. And he goes to his dad about it, and his dad is telling him, like, nah, no way you joining a Boy Scout troop out here. I don't want you. They stole all that from Africa anyway. And then Lillian reminds them that there is a Boy Scout troop at their church, and Bruce was a part of it back in the day. And so now that's the move. And Bill says he's gonna take Dean down there and find out more about it. When they get to the church, the deacon that was in charge of the troop said that he disbanded the troop because a lot of the guys that used to be in the troop went off to the war, and he should have trained them so good on how to shoot in the woods, because that's where they ended up. And so Bill decides that he's going to take the troop over, because he wants to make this happen for Dean. And Dean gets his friends to come and join the troop. And it starts off, Bill has them doing like household chores, earning merit badges. which is cool. And I was a Boy Scout myself when I was young, and that's kind of how it went. We would have meetings in my boy's basement, with his parents or his dad, kind of leading the meetings, and they were just dads doing the best that they could with the situation. Now, my dad was also a Boy Scout, and he would come to the meetings when he didn't have to work. But it was not, urban Boy Scouts in the 1980s had already lost its appeal in the inner city. So that was something I could definitely relate to watching this episode. Them trying to take these city boys out in the woods and teach them things about the outdoors. And this is back in 1968 when some of that stuff was, very much in the forefront of American culture. So they're around doing these household chores, and Coach Long comes to pick up Corey, and he sees what's going on, and he's like, "You got these kids in here doing this; they need to be outside." And I can show them, the right thing to do if you let me, but I don't want to step on Bill's toes with what he's doing. And then they get into this little thing, where it turns into like out of an ego thing between them. And Bill says, "I can take them camping, no problem. And then if you want to come along, you're welcome to." And so that's how he plays it. And when they get to the campsite, Coach Long pulls out like, real simple tent, real simple gear, and Bill's got all this stuff he bought from the camping store. And I don't think the term existed then, but by today's standards, what Bill was trying to do is more called glamping than camping. He had the most fanciest tent. He had all types of gear, and Coach Long was like, "What are you doing with all this stuff? It's ridiculous." And the tent he got was real complicated to put together. But then the first thing he wants to do is throw away the instruction book. So things were not going so well for the Williams clan out on the campsite. Meanwhile, Coach Long is showing them how to go out and get firewood. They tell a story about how he killed a snake while they were getting the wood. Everybody was impressed. Meanwhile, Bill and Dean, they can't even put the tent together. So later on, Coach Long is like, "Let's go hiking. Y'all can earn your hiking badge." And Bill comes up with what he thinks is a better idea because he sees that there's a lake in the area. And so he's like, "Yeah, you can join me. We can go down to the lake, and you can earn your hiking badge and your swim badge." So everybody gets a little excited about that, and then they get down. They get into the height, and they're not getting anywhere, and they're not getting there fast. So Coach Long kind of questions Bill about where they're going. He has to see the map. So him and the other troops, they go off on a different path. Meanwhile, Dean sticks with his dad because he's still believing in his dad and how his dad can make this happen. And they keep marching on through the woods, and they get to a certain point, and Dean feels like they're getting lost, and it's solidified by the fact they come up. They do finally make it to the lake, but when they get there, his boys have already swam. They met some girls, and they asking Dean where he's been, and that was it for Dean. Corey told him there was a girl there that he was talking to about Dean, and he missed out. And that was the last straw. Like at that point, Dean snapped off on his pops, who was like, "Yo, you stink. This whole situation stinks." And Bill was visibly hurt by the fact that Dean didn't feel like he was, he no longer felt that he was up to the task, and he just felt defeated. So he went ahead and let Coach Long lead the troops back to the campsite. And that was kind of it for him. He just left the whole situation alone. And so Dean was toasting his marshmallow. Coach Long came to him and was like, hey, look, your dad might not be good at this camping thing, but that's because he was always working on his music. He told him a story about how when, him and other guys in the neighborhood were out camping, Bill was inside working on the saxophone, and he reached the goals that he set for himself so far as the music thing was concerned. So, that was his thing, and he was out there camping, just to make Dean happy. And so when Dean heard about that, he started feeling a little bad about the situation, and he went over and tried to talk to his pops, told him about the fact that he hadn't had a BM in a couple of days, and Bill told him it was cool, and everything was working out. Then it started to rain and lightning, so that was kind of it. Coach Long told everybody to get to the car, and since the rain didn't let up, Bill had another bright idea. He said there was another merit badge that they could earn. And so he ends up taking them to the jazz club and getting their music appreciation badge. And while they're there, the band actually recognizes Bill, asks him to come up and play. And then Dean realizes that, yeah, the camping thing might not be his dad's thing, but definitely music is his thing, and he's really good at it. And then he comes to the realization that the American experience that he's been looking for may not be the one that's actually meant for him. And that's something that we all have to realize. Not just even black people, but just people in general need to realize that the images and the things that are put out there for us to achieve are not always the best things for us as individuals. You have to be very aware of that, especially in the days of social media and things like that. There's a lot of unhappiness these days because people are measuring their lives up to what they see other people live. And the thing that's missing when you look at, the end results of somebody's life, what they're doing right now, what they don't show you is all the hardships and all the struggles that they had to go through to get to that point. So really take that into consideration when you see people with, things that you may desire. Understand that there's a whole story behind that. And until you know the story, you don't know what it actually takes to get to that point. And you can't spend your life measuring what you're doing against somebody else because we all live different lives. And until you are willing to go through whatever that person may have went through to get to that point, then you're not going to get the same result. You have to live your life for yourself. Go for the goals that you have, and then work for them. Work hard for them. And if it's something that you really want, because that's the only way to get there. Hey, I'm not going to get too deep into that because this is just a spoiler review. I am going to do a WETF brief about the whole situation that came up with Insecure and the AKAs this week. I'm gonna save my opinion for that video. Anyway, it's your boy CB. You can holler at me in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this episode and other episodes and other videos, anything in the comments. Or of course, you can hit me up on my Instagram and Twitter at the Rude Educator. I'll put the link in the description or the tag in the description or whatever. Anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. It's your boy CB. Peace.